ओम जय स्वाहा माता।
बोले वृंदावन श्री कृष्ण चंद्र की जय। ओम वसुदेवम सुतम देवम कंस चाणूरमर्दनम देवकी परमानंदम कृष्णम वंदे जगद्गुरु। बोले वृंदावन श्री कृष्ण चंद्र की जय। Devotees, I'll begin with this bhajan. It says, मतलब का इसे दुनिया में मन सोच समझ कर चलना है. To put it in simple terms, this world can be considered to be like a marketplace. In this marketplace, we have a lot of vendors selling different products. Each one will value his product. Some very exorbitantly, some cheap. The question is, when you go to the marketplace, what product do you buy? What are the factors that determine what you buy? Is it the price alone? Is it the marketing of the vendor? How he markets his product? What factors determine what product you buy? Is it that you may see many people buying one place, so you go right there and buy? Or would you sift carefully based upon your needs, based upon your circumstances, your experience, and choose to suit? The scriptures tell us this is the attitude you should have. Think carefully, analyze every circumstance, analyze every product, every opinion, internalize, and if it makes sense, then you accept. So too, as you go through this forest of the world process, you have to be very careful. Opinions are on all sides very cheap. One must sift carefully. But the best ideas projected to us is that if you stick to the path of spirituality, one would be able to make good decisions, exercise the right options, so that the right things will follow. The sages, in their infinite wisdom, have given to us words of advice, words of wisdom. मतलब का इस दुनिया में मन सोच समझ कर चलना है. मन सोच समझ कर चलना है. पाप पुण्य का भेद समझ ले, इस जग से निकलना है. सोच समझ कर चलना है. Think carefully, make right decisions. आगे चली, then go forward. Caution. मतलब का इस दुनिया में मन सोच समझ कर चलना है. मतलब का इस दुनिया में मन सोच समझ कर चलना है. पाप पुण्य का भेद समझ ले, पाप पुण्य का भेद समझ ले, इस जग से निकलना है. सोच समझ कर चलना है. मतलब का इस दुनिया में मन सोच समझ कर चलना है. नारायण है सब घट घट में, सबके सहारा दे संकट में. नारायण है सब घट घट में, सबके सहारा दे संकट में. पूजा कर ले सद्गुर धर ले, पूजा कर ले सदगुर धर ले, इस जग से निकलना है, सोच समझ कर चलना है। मतलब का इस दुनिया में मन सोच समझ कर चलना है। इसी जग में तू सुमिरन कर ले, दीप जाप का तन मन धर ले। इसी जग में तू सुमिरन कर ले, दीप जाप का तन मन धर ले। मोह माया से बच कर रहना, मोह माया से बच कर रहना, फिर पछताना है, सोच समझ कर चलना है। मतलब का इस दुनिया में मन सोच समझ कर चलना है। पाप पुण्य का भेद समझ ले, पाप पुण्य का भेद समझ ले, इस जग से निकलना है, सोच समझ कर चलना है। मतलब का इस दुनिया में मन सोच समझ कर चलना है। In this world of duality, devotees, we need to have the right guidance. We need to do the right analysis, make the right decisions before we put one foot forward or any foot forward. We need to be very, very careful. And in keeping in line with this type of thinking, there is the great sage Chanak Maharaj, who way back BC, he created wonderful lessons for us, which we reflect upon and internalize, wherever possible, put into practice. So, we are speaking of duty here. And he says, foremost your duty. Dharma dhanam cha dhanyam cha guror vachama aushadham sangrihitam cha kartavyam anyatha natu jivati. One must go on accumulating religious merit, money, eatables, the teachings of the Guru, and of course, herbal medicines, or else one can't survive. Now, Chanak is trying to prepare us for circumstances in life, whatever. Today things can be good. What will happen tomorrow? Tomorrow is unpredictable. As a matter of fact, kal ho na ho. It may not happen. Tomorrow may never come for some of us. But just suppose it comes and circumstances change, how do we survive? There are certain things we need to continue to accumulate. Not at the expense of morality and spirituality, of course. That goes without saying. But make every effort, religious merit, that the spiritual wealth we take with us. Every opportunity we get to acquire religious merit, we should make use of such an opportunity. You know, sometimes we may have the tendency to think, well, I don't have to go service this morning. Next week I'll go. Why do you come service? Why do you go yagya? Why do you go to pujas? Why do you make all these different sacrifices? The sole intent behind all these should be to acquire or to accumulate religious merit. And therefore, every opportunity we get to acquire such merits, we should make use of it. Chanak, the wise one, is saying, one must continue to accumulate religious merit. Don't think you have had enough. money. In society, we have to fulfill hierarchy of needs. Money is essential. Therefore, you keep on through legitimate means. I want to emphasize, legitimate means to acquire that finance that will help you to survive, to provide a comfortable quality of life for your family and for yourself. Poverty is a sin, according to our mind. Poverty. When there is abject poverty, then what is the quality of life? People will be like living dead. So Chanak understands that, or he understood that, and he's saying, keep on accumulating. Now, I just want to emphasize a little bit on this. It doesn't mean to say you go craving for more and more and more and more. We all have our jobs, our responsibilities, for which there is a remuneration package. There must be contentment, but whatever we get, we must have the presence of mind to save from that. Don't squander it, and then we say, Chanak, say, go look for money. So, every day you're playing playway. You're making all kind of bet. You're wasting all your money gambling because Chanak say accumulate money. You understand? What I mean is by true legitimate, practical means. Nothing should be compromised. No quality should be compromised. Contentment must be at the basis of this. But there must be a shrewdness, a prudence in financial management. That whatever you receive, you are able to manage with that and save from it. Save for the rainy day. Who knows when that rainy day will come? And of course, eatables. Annamay Kosh. Man is made up of a food sheet. And we all need to eat. Not too much, of course. Within limitations. And therefore, we should always try to acquire those things that are nutritious and beneficial to the body. If I don't have the body, if the body is sick, diseased, can I function properly? Therefore, I have to take care of it. And you know, circumstances are such in many places in the world today. Natural disasters. They picked up. Everything is destroyed. Food. Where are they going to get food? They have to depend on the rest of the world to send food. And then there's a lot of corruption involved in those things. But my point is that if we are wise, we prepare for that rainy day. Things could happen. There are imperishables which we can preserve. And who knows, devotees, maybe this idea is coming to mind and these thoughts are being projected. Who knows? Is it that it's a prophetic type of statement we are making here this morning? That something could happen in our country and we would need to be prepared? Is it? Who knows? Who knows? So eatables, so that you won't starve. You will survive comfortably. The teachings of the Guru, the spiritual preceptor, the teacher, the more you learn from him, the better it is for you. Learning is important. Chanak is saying, keep on learning. Don't stop. Don't stop. The Guru is a storehouse of knowledge, wisdom. And the more we are touched and listen to his teachings and open our minds to them, the better it is for us. Those teachings can take us through life. As it is said, Dhyana Moolam Gurur Murti, Puja Moolam Gurur Padam, Mantra Moolam Gurur Vakyam, Moksha Moolam Guru Kripa. So many things depend upon the grace of the Guru. If you have the right Guru, be attached the right way, take the teachings, never get fed up of taking the teachings. Today you may hear something, you understand it one way, maybe next 2 months, next 3 months, next year, you hear the same thing again. You're going to understand it differently as you continue to evolve spiritually. Never say, I heard that already, I'm fed up of hearing that. Then you are listening superficially. The more you internalize, the more depth you are going to get from the Guru's words. But Chanak is of a view that you must keep on accumulating teachings of the Guru. Don't stop. Don't stop. And of course, medicine. Well, way back in the past, a lot of herbs were used. Today we have a lot of medicines in the pharmacies and so on and so forth, so we get those things. But in those days, These herbs were accumulated, kept, and in case of any emergencies, readily available, so one can survive. So Chanak is saying, this is part of our duty, to preserve life and to go forward, to prepare for whatever eventuality may come our way. Chanak now, he's saying, Tyaja durjana sansangar, bhaja sadhu samagamam, kuru punya mahoratram, smara nityama nityataha. One must shun the company of the wicked. Seek association of the noble. One must keep on doing good deeds without forgetting that divine even for a moment. Wonderful lessons, devotees. Why seek the company of the wicked? And I have put forward a compelling reason. There is group karma. Scriptures say the root cause of everything that happens to us is karma. So there is also a group karma. There is a resultant group karma. So if there is a group of wicked people, what the resultant karma would be? Not evil, not wickedness. To associate with such a grouping, even if you may have good karma, it is more or less exhausted because of the resultant karma of the grouping that you are in. You can become affected. There is nothing good to come out of the company of the wicked. And how do I identify the wicked? Interesting, eh? Ramayana says, avoid the company of the wicked. Because the wicked man is compared to what? A snake. Before the snake attacks, it bends. And when it attacks, it destroys. Like the whip, before it inflicts pain, it also bends. And when it straightens, you get it. The wicked man, look at his behavior. When he wants to destroy, he always humbles himself to get what he wants, and then he attacks. He attacks. And when he attacks, that attack is vicious. But in addition to that, the wicked man is such, when he finds himself sinking, he wants to make sure that he carries company with him. Like the hail. We may not know too much about the hail, but there is hail, like ice, it falls. It will fall and melt, but while melting, it will make sure that the cups also melt. Or like a stone, it will sink and sink others. And it's nice to analyze in society and see characters all around, some in prominent positions. When they find themselves cornered, they are jammed as such. See how many people they try to take with them. Analyze and see. You are intelligent people. This is your wicked man. This is how he functions. And he has his purpose, but scripture says stay far from him. As a matter of fact, Chanakya himself is saying, where the wicked man is concerned, he quotes different type of wickedness, but the wicked man is saying, make sure that a country separates you from him, a whole country. Don't stay near him at all. Don't stay near him. So if the wicked man could be sent to another country, it would be good. Yeah. Export them. As you would? Let me use the word export. Yeah. Keep them very, very far. Because your influence is like tentacles. They spread in all different directions. They bring about destruction. And the sad part is, many people don't see that. They also believe that they could get something, but believe me, the wicked man will turn on anybody, even his own parents. That wickedness. Chanakya says, avoid the wicked. Seek the association of the noble ones. Ramayana tells us, the virtuous ones, the saints, they are like what you call, they're the particular type of tree devotees. The bark, they skin the bark off the tree and make clothing for the sages to wear. The wise ones, the noble ones, the virtuous ones, they are like this tree. What they do, they kind of hide the defects of other people. They try to protect you, try to keep you on the right path. Whereas the wicked one is like the hemp. You take that tree, they make rope, and it binds others to destroy them. So if you seek the company of the noble ones, the virtuous ones, the spiritual ones, you are seeking protection. Positive energies, the company of the wicked one, there is only one direction you could go, and that is down and out. And also, karmas, we mentioned karmas, never stop doing good. Never stop doing good. And while you do that good, at the basis of it is thought of God. Remember this sadhu who was walking through the desert? Sadhu is a good man, a noble man, a virtuous man. Mind always on God. While walking through the desert, blazing, scorching sun, he saw a scorpion, struggling to survive, losing his life, so to speak, in that hot sun. Sadhu, his mind always on God. He said, God is in me, God is in him, God is everywhere. He's suffering, he can't help himself. Let me try to help him. Good deeds. Sadhu picked up the scorpion. And what the scorpion did? What the scorpion could do? The scorpion stung him. So he rubbed the scorpion. But then he said, no, God is in me, God is in him. God is everywhere. Now we may think that the sadhu is very stupid. But you see, this is how the wise ones think. The presence of that Supreme in all places. Haribhyapak sarvatra samana. So they keep on doing their good. This thought of theirs, that God pervades every single thing, motivates them to keep on doing good. But if I think that there's evil here and evil there and evil there, then that will prompt me to also act evil. What is the motivation? The presence of divinity in all places. This is the key to having thoughts of the Almighty at all times. And when that happens, you keep on doing your good. You don't stop. You never stop. So devotees, here, Sadhu picked up scorpion again. Scorpion stung Sadhu a second time. Sadhu said, no. What is the nature of the scorpion? Not to sting. He's stinging. He isn't changing his nature. I am a sadhu. I have to save. Why should I change my nature? And he picked up that scorpion, as much as the scorpion would sting him, and he took it into a shady spot to put it there. Of course, in due course, that poison took effect. But you know what? We have been saying, Tu chahe to sab kuch kar de, vish ko bhi amrit kar de. When one serves that Lord, genuinely so, keep on doing all the right things in life, poison becomes like nectar. It becomes ineffective for that individual who has God's grace. Now, I don't want anybody go and drink poison and say, God grace in poison can't kill me. You have to make sure first you have God grace. Don't assume. But if you have that grace of the Lord, like Prahalad, even poison becomes ineffective. Fire becomes ineffective, like Hanumanji. Yeah? That which is destructive becomes beneficial. The grace of God. And this is why Chanakya is saying that always keep that thought at the back, God at the back of your mind. He's there. Always have him in thought. And devotees, a very simple way of doing this is that we should become less selfish and try to do everything for God. Bhagavan says, think of me constantly. Worship me, bow down to me, you shall come to me. How can I do that? Do everything for his sake. Do everything as an act of offering to him. And if I'm offering everything I do to God, I will think twice, 3 times, 10 times before I do anything that is bad. Because I don't want to offer anything bad to my God, to my Lord. So it all depends upon attitude, how you condition yourself. Everything you do for God. And devotees, how can I do this also? If I try to serve mankind dispassionately, that is service to God. That is service to God. So, attitude, we follow that. Let me give you a final one. Chanakya is saying, Ananta Shastrang Bahulascha Vidya, Alpang Chakalu, Alpang Dakalu, Bahuvignatacha, Asan Bhutang Tadupasaniyam, Hanso Yatha Chiram, Ivambu Padhyat. They are infinite scriptures. Infinite. And if you check religion, Christians have their Bible, Muslims have their Quran, the Buddhists have their book. Devotees, in Hinduism, we have the Vedas, we have the Shastras, we have the Upanishads, we have the Puranas, Mahabharata, Ramayana, Bhagavad Gita, different books, endless books, all sides you turn, unlimited scriptures, infinite scriptures, unlimited branches of knowledge, Chanakya is saying. But human life is very short. Anybody could assimilate all those branches of knowledge in one lifetime. As a matter of fact, it becomes quite confusing. How can I learn all these? How can I acquire all this knowledge? And life is so short. And not only that, we have many hurdles in life, in that short duration of life. Check and see how our lives are. As a matter of fact, devotees, let's analyze critically. Don't you think we have more problems in life than good times? Any angle you turn, every step forward, that the clouds of adversity shower upon us every footstep in life. And yet still many of us think we okay. We don't seem to recognize our circumstances. So Chanakya is reminding us of our mortality. The short space of time we are here. And so much to learn, so many scriptures. How should we act? What should we do? Chanakya is saying, one should be like the swan, who makes a clear distinction between milk and water. Even if they be mixed, what he does, it is said, the swan has an enzyme in his beak. It releases, if you mix milk and water, it releases the enzyme into the mixture of milk and water. The milk coagulates so that the swan takes all the milk and leave the water behind. So Chanakya is saying that this is what we need to do. Be like the swan. And when we in Hinduism speak of Saraswati Ma, she rides on the swan, symbolic. Saraswati Ma is the goddess of learning. The book she carries, the book of knowledge. But how much could we learn in the short lifetime that we have? You have to be like the swan. Let knowledge itself ride on the back of the swan, so to speak, the attitude of discrimination. Be able to sift, to assess carefully, to analyze, and take the milk and leave all the water behind. So you don't have to go learn everything. You could never read all the books that there are. You can never download all those bits of information from these days, everybody doing that. Downloading. But what about uploading in your brain? Can you do that? There's a limit. And time factor doesn't allow otherwise. So Chanakya is saying, when you sit, you have the opportunity, you be like the swan. Carefully analyze. And as was mentioned previously, God has blessed all of us with what we call the inner equipment. Yantahakaran. Use the inner equipment. And also, the system of Nyaya has given to us these 4 conditions, tests that we pay some attention to. Pratyaksh, there is an observation that we make, a perception that exists. So you hear something as you listen, there must be an inference out of that perception, anuman. But using the inner equipment, upaman, compare with previous experience. And then not only that, shabda, you have to take the testimony of those who have gone this way before. The sages have given to us all these words of wisdom documented. Hey man, choose this way. And if you go back to what I said earlier on, the Guru is the key here. He gives us that wisdom. He possesses that wisdom. He gives us that wisdom. So I can be like the swan to take that out of it, applying the methodology so I can take what makes sense. And if you go back to the beginning, what I said, matalab ka isa duniya mein mana soch samajh kar chalna hai. Use your sense. Don't follow blindly. Don't be brainwashed. Don't be indoctrinated by false values. And such things are prevalent in society today. Prevalent. Many children are exposed and they have been made into bombs, so to speak, or destroy others because of false indoctrination. They lack the ability, of course. We have a responsibility. It's the foremost duty we have to make sure we prepare ourselves in the right way. Failing to prepare to fail. Bole Vrindavan, Sri Krishna Chandra ki
ॐ जय स्वाहा माता मैया जय स्वाहा माता तुम अग्नि की शक्ति तुम अग्नि की शक्ति तुम सच्ची माता ॐ जय स्वाहा